What if I told you that the one rule that kept you safe from them no longer applies? For decades, we believed that all you had to do was refuse the invitation, to simply not let them in. But they have evolved, they have adapted, and your invitation was already sent the moment you clicked on this video. The door is already open. To understand the new threat, we must return to the beginning, the patient zero of the modern legend. The year is 1996, in Abilene, Texas. A local journalist, Brian Bethel, is sitting in his car, parked outside the Westwood Theater. The glow of the marquee provides the only light as he focuses on the mundane task of writing a check. It's a moment of quiet solitude, soon to be shattered. A soft, deliberate tap on his driver's side window. He looks up to see two boys, aged between 9 and 13, partially obscured by hoodies. The older one speaks, asking for a ride. He says they want to see the movie Mortal Kombat, but left their money at their mother's house. The request is simple, but Bethel is seized by a wave of inexplicable primal fear, a fight-or-flight response that he cannot rationalize. And then, as the boys move further into the light, he sees their eyes. They are completely black, solid coal-black orbs with no iris, no pupil, and no sclera. Noticing his hesitation, the older boy's voice becomes more insistent, more persuasive. He speaks the words that would become the law of this entire phenomenon. "We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in." Panic overwhelms reason. Bethel slams the car into gear and speeds away. In his rearview mirror, he catches one last glimpse of the parking space. The boys are gone. They have vanished into thin air. This was the classic encounter, the original strain of the virus. It established the rules. They look like children. They have black eyes. They instill a profound dread, and most importantly, they need permission to cross a threshold. We thought this was their weakness, their limitation. It was in fact just their opening gambit. Brian Bethel's story, first shared in an email to a small circle of friends in 1998, quickly escaped into the burgeoning world of the internet, becoming a cornerstone of creepypasta culture. But Texas was not the genesis. It was merely the most public outbreak. The true roots of this horror dig deeper into the soil of another country and an earlier time. We must travel back to 1982. To the misty, ancient woodlands of Cannock Chase, England. 14 years before Brian Bethel's encounter, a teenage girl wandering the forest paths reported hearing a child's frantic screams for help. She followed the sound and came across a 6-year-old girl walking alone. When the child looked up, the teenager saw the same impossible feature: eyes of pure, empty blackness. This forest is infamous, a place steeped in genuine tragedy. In the 1960s, it was the hunting ground of a killer named Raymond Morris, who murdered 3 young girls between the ages of 5 and 7. Some paranormal researchers posit that the black-eyed child of Cannock Chase is no alien or demon, but the vengeful ghost of a murdered child. The first echo of a trauma so profound it tore a hole in reality. This was the first form of the entity, a terrestrial spirit, a ghost bound by grief and geography, needing a verbal invitation to interact with the living. It was a predator, but one with a predictable, limited hunting ground. The internet changed everything. The story of the black-eyed children was the perfect digital ghost. It was no longer bound to a haunted forest or a lonely Texas parking lot. It could travel at the speed of light. Bethel's story was copied and pasted across countless forums and websites. The anonymity of these platforms lent a false sense of credibility. The lack of clear authorship blurred the line between a single person's experience and a global phenomenon. The entity was mutating. It was no longer a ghost of a place, but a ghost in the machine. It wasn't waiting by doors and windows anymore. It was waiting on screens. This is where the very definition of invitation began to warp. For decades, the defense was simple: say no, lock the door, drive away. But in the digital realm, what is a door? What is a lock? The entity, this evolving parasite of consciousness, began to learn. It learned that human curiosity is a key that can open any door. The desire to know more, to see the evidence, to feel the chill of fear. This became the new passive form of invitation. Enter the investigators, people like author Jason Offutt, who spent more than a decade documenting and analyzing the phenomenon. Interviewing alleged witnesses from all over the world, he found chillingly consistent patterns in their accounts. The pale skin, the monotone, unearthly adult voices, the persistent, almost hypnotic requests for entry. Offutt's work, and that of others, laid out the competing theories. Were they demons, vampires, given their need for permission, or perhaps alien-human hybrids, imperfectly disguised? The theory that they were ghosts of the dead remained a powerful contender. But what if they were all of these things and none of them? What if the entity was simply a shapeshifter, wearing whatever mask we feared the most? And then came the great accelerators: social media, TikTok, Reddit, the perfect incubators for a digital plague. Short, visceral videos designed for maximum emotional impact, an endless algorithm-driven feed that learns what you fear and shows you more of it. The legend of the black-eyed children was reborn in fire. Let us construct a modern case, a composite drawn from the digital ether. Let's call him Alex, a teenager scrolling through his feed late one night. He stumbles upon a video with the hashtag black-eyed children. He watches. Creepy music, a dramatic retelling of Bethel's story, stitched in footage of someone's doorbell camera at 3 a.m., a small hooded figure just standing there. Alex is hooked. He watches another video and another. The algorithm takes note. His For You page, once filled with memes and music, slowly transforms into a curated channel of horror. He is now inside a digital echo chamber where every comment and every new video reinforces the reality of the threat. Without realizing it, Alex is performing a new kind of ritual. He's no longer a passive observer. He comments, "Nope, I would move out." He shares the most convincing video with his friends. He is feeding the egregore, the collective thought form. The old rule required one single conscious invitation. The new rule is a death by 1,000 cuts. 1,000 micro-invitations, 1,000 moments of focused attention, and the entity has enough energy to notice its benefactor, to notice Alex. The breach is subtle at first, a fleeting shape in the reflection of his dark computer screen, a whisper of his own name through his gaming headset when no audio is playing. During a video chat, his own image glitches for a split second, his eyes becoming dark pits. He dismisses it all. It's late, his eyes are tired, his mind is playing tricks on him. But the parasite has already established a beachhead. It didn't break down his door. It seeped in through the Wi-Fi, through the pixels of his screen, and into the very neural pathways that were firing as he consumed the content. The digital invitation was accepted. The breaking point comes on a Tuesday night. To prove to himself and his handful of followers that it's all just an internet hoax, Alex starts a TikTok live stream. "All right, guys, people are freaking out about this BEK stuff," he says, a nervous tremor in his voice betraying his forced confidence. "I've been binging this content for a week, and as you can see, I'm fine. No one's knocking."
He pans his phone around his messy bedroom. Suddenly, the main light on his ceiling begins to flicker erratically. Pad wiring, he laughs, but the sound is hollow. He aims the camera at his closet door. Maybe they're hiding in here, huh? He jokes. At that exact moment, an audible click echoes in the room, as if the old lock on the closet door has just been turned. Then, impossibly, the door begins to swing open, inch by agonizing inch, revealing not clothes, but a void of perfect, featureless black. Alex freezes, his eyes glued to his phone screen, where the live chat is exploding into a frantic, unreadable stream of capital letters. Behind you! The closet! Get out now! He sees the panic of his audience before he sees the cause. His face turns sheet white. He slowly, mechanically lowers his phone and turns his head to face the closet. The audience doesn't see what he sees. All they hear over the open mic is a sharp, choked gasp of pure terror. The phone clatters to the floor. The last image the live stream captures is the bottom of Alex's face, his mouth open in a silent, frozen scream. Then, the feed cuts to static. Alex's account never went live again. The recording of his final moments became a new foundational text in the digital legend, a piece of found footage endlessly debated on Reddit threads and YouTube analysis videos. Some called it a brilliantly executed prank, others a chillingly authentic document of the phenomenon's lethal evolution. The rules have irrevocably changed. The entity we call the Black-Eyed Children no longer needs your verbal permission to enter your home. It has found a back door into the architecture of our modern consciousness. All it needs is your attention. Every view, every share, every fearful comment is a break in the bridge between their world and ours. It's a self-perpetuating horror story that writes its own sequels using its victims as the authors. The legend is no longer a passive tale we tell. It's an active predator that listens back. Right now, you have given it nearly 25 minutes of your undivided focus. You followed its history. You've learned its methods. You've witnessed its climax. You didn't just hear a story. You participated in a ritual. The click was the door. Your time was the invitation. So the only question left is, what exactly have you just let into your own mind? Let me know what you think in the comments below.